So Jake O'Neill prepares to bring us up to speed to start tonight's Summit Racing Equipment A-Main. 40 laps will be the distance. Green flag is in the air atop the woodshed. Mobile wood-fired pizza starter stand. O'Neill will lead us into turn number one. Smoke trying to battle back on the outside. Loses the lane there. Here comes Jake Tim, splitting the difference between Brandon Davis's 50 to the third. Tim's going to try and lead lap number one with the Gorilla Mill number 49.
Tim takes the lead, leads lap number one in that 49. Jake O'Neill second. Brandon Davis to third in the 50 car. Then it's the 10 car of Caden Carter running fourth.
Brandon Davis now going to try and work underneath the zero machine of Jake O'Neill. Boy, it sure seemed like Jake Tim decided, if I see that opening, I've got to go right now and take advantage of it, and that's what he did. Davis and O'Neill.
10 are around 8th position. Him and Lucas Schott battling for position. All sorts of stuff going on ahead of him. AJ Demille now making a pass on Jim Chisholm and Jake O'Neill.
They were 3 wide again that time, coming out of turn number 2. Tight quarters in turn number 3 as the 20 of Sanders works underneath Lucas Schott. I'm not sure there was hard contact there. Might have just been a little buff and run, but the 69 of Schott gets up out of the groove and Sanders takes the position.
Well, the zero of Jake O'Neill is picking it.
Jackrabbits away from what is a 2x2 battle for second and third, fourth and fifth. 3 wide just outside the top 5 as Lucas Schott tries to work underneath pole sitter Jake O'Neill. Ooh, tight quarters in 3 and 4 as Jim Chisholm almost gets underneath the rear end of the 10C of Caden Carter.
Boy, I tell you, there's some really hard racing all the way through the field. 2 and 3 wide. 3 wide now for third place.
Back in the pack, Hughes is in the middle of a 3 wide battle. John Daly's in that mix as well. Back to the front though. Jake Tim, your race leader. Brandon Davis. Those 2 cars trying to pull away from third on back.
Oh, Tim scrapes the wall at turn 2. Eyes up, trying to find a spot around the 75 of Phillips as the field gets strung out here.
Brandon Davis in the 50 to the third, running second. He's going to have to deal with a 96 of Hansen. Going to try and work underneath him as Hansen has moved to the top of the banking. Tim clears the 75 of Phillips. Now he's got AJ Hoff just ahead of him in the 55 machine.
Still a lot of traffic. 3 wide ahead of Jake Tim in the 49. AJ Hoff working on the inside as they go 3 wide. John Daly in there as well. Jake Tim looking for a way around. John Daly doesn't know he's there. Cuts down right across the bow.
Tanner Mullins has moved forward 1 position. He's got the 0-2 up to 7 as our race leaders continue working through heavy traffic. Jake Tim throwing sliders at lapped traffic, trying to clear them. Brandon Davis closes the gap. He's within 2 car lengths of our race leader.
It's like a couple of surgeons up front here cutting through the traffic. Surgical precision, Jake Tim and Brandon Davis. Now only 2 or 3 car lengths between those 2 leaders.
Rodney Sanders has caught the 10 of Caden Carter.
Then a little bit of a distance back to Jake O'Neill now, who has taken over third in the 0 car, battling side by side with Rodney Sanders.
Jake Tim, the 49, your race leader. No cars between him and Brandon Davis in second. Now there's 1 car, 1 lapped machine. They're both going to try and work their way around cleanly in turns 3 and 4. 23 laps down this time by. Running order is Jake Tim, your race leader. Brandon Davis second. Jake O'Neill third. Rodney Sanders fourth. Then it's Caden Carter fifth. Tanner Mullins sixth. Beef Jerky Billboard.
Boy, incredible bite from that 50 to the third of Brandon Davis. Pulls up right on the tail of the 49 of Jake Tim. These 2 guys are like shot out of a cannon.
Oh, Tim into the
wall. Brandon Davis assumes the lead.
Jake Tim puts the Gorilla Mill 49 into the concrete at the top of the banking in 1 and 2. We'll have to see if that's going to cause further damage, perhaps race-ending miscue. Car seems to be Speedway. Tonight's the night when he should be able to roll his way into victory lane at the end of this USMTS 40-lap feature. Final time out of 4. Checkered flag is out. Brandon Davis picks up the win.
Jake Tim settles for second. Third goes to Jake O'Neill.
Fourth goes to Rodney Sanders, and Caden Carter will round out the top 5 on a fifth.
Oh God, that was a really fun race. You know, it sucks when you're the leader and you have no idea what's going on behind you. I'm glad I was in second. I got to enjoy that. It was fun going through lap traffic with Jake and changing lanes, picking this, picking that, trying to find lanes that you get some air in the car. That was fun.
How hard were you pushing it there when you were just neck and neck with him, but he was out front?
The scoreboard wasn't working, so I had no idea how many laps we had left. So I was just kind of riding around trying to keep pace with him. I got to a certain point, and I'm like, it's time to go, but the track was starting to dry out, so I didn't have to. My pace all of a sudden was just working with the track, so I really didn't have to pick it up at all. I just kind of stay consistent, and things worked out.